So delighted now to be joined by the Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer himself, nicknamed the Greyhound, who starred not only at Norfolk State, where he's still the all-time leader in single-season scoring average, but a former champion with the Milwaukee Bucks and Washington Bullets. We now have on the program Bob Dandridge here on ESPN Radio 94.1. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I am doing great.
Thank you for coming on with us, and I imagine you had to be thrilled with the turnout and success from the inaugural Bob Dandridge MLK Holiday Basketball Challenge that took place yesterday over at your alma mater, Norfolk State University.
Well, I am. I'm just overwhelmed by the success of it, and even more overwhelmed about the quality of high school basketball in the 757, both the girls and boys. We had 6 games. All of them were just exciting games and sort of just brought back a lot of good feelings about the game of basketball. And we got a chance where families came out, future ballers, boys and girls, and it was just a good, wholesome environment to relax on a Martin Luther King Day.
Absolutely, some great games as Norview's girls beat Monacan 53-50 on the boys' side. Morey defeating Oscar Smith 56-35 to stay unbeaten. Menchville winning 65-52 over Western Branch. Kings Fork 62-46 over Cape Henry as George Beale had 34 points and 15 rebounds. Kickingham beating Green Run in a high-scoring game 73-62. And how about that game with Lake Taylor and Woodside, Bob? 62-61. The Titans winning on a buzzer beater from Shahad Battle. That had to get the fans jumping last night over there at Norfolk State. That was a great finish.
Oh, that was a great finish because early at the half, the other guy on the other team had made a similar type of shot to end the half. So it was a lot of excitement on both ends, offensively and defensive. And, the coaches were coaching.
Yeah, that finish was something else, and you're right. You got 2 buzzer beaters in one game. You got your well worth the price of admission there yesterday at Eccles Hall. And the event was moved from Scope to Eccles at NSU. I'm guessing that was quite all right with you, and it probably rekindled some memories for you as well.
Well, I think it was the best of all worlds, and I think the tournament should remain at Norfolk State, where I think everybody has a real good comfort zone. And it brings the crowd closer together, and it's more of the togetherness and family environment when it's played in Joe Eccles Hall. And then I think it gives the university an opportunity to put its hospitality and its facilities on display, because they've just done a lot with Eccles Hall, and it's really a basketball environment there.
We're talking with the Greyhound himself, Bob Dandridge, a Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame inductee here on the 757 at 6 on ESPN Radio 94.1, one of 16 inductees in the class of 2021 who won an NBA championship with both the Milwaukee Bucks back in 1971 and the Washington Bullets in 1978, averaging over 18.5 points per game in his career, making the playoffs 8 times as well. Bob, having that inaugural event yesterday, what did it mean to you, and to do so on such a special day like Martin Luther King Day?
Well, I think it was truly a special day, and for me personally, to even be on the program with Dr. King is just humbling. And then I think the crowd was it just brought a group of people together in the fashion that Dr. King advocated for, and I think the atmosphere of Dr. King was displayed not only through just good sportsmanship. It was just a great opportunity for the community to celebrate Dr. King, and I think he would have been very proud of the event itself honoring him. And it honored him more so than me. I was just following the strip. but Dr. King was definitely the headliner.
You know, it's interesting because a year ago at this time, we couldn't have had an event like that one that you had yesterday in your name, in your honor over there at Norfolk State University. And this is such a special place for basketball. You grew up in the city of Richmond. You know how meaningful it is there as well as here in the 757. Just speak a little bit about the basketball history and tradition that this state has at the high school level, the college level. When you travel other parts of the country, what the 757, the 804, and the Commonwealth of VA mean to you and so many others?
Well, you know, what it did, it gave me a great foundation. You know, in Richmond, I learned the fundamentals, and there's a black coach, John McClendon, that studied under Naismith at Kansas State University, and my middle school coach had played for Coach McClendon down at North Carolina Central, you know, going to Norfolk State. I had just great coaching and great leadership there. But, you know, sometimes we even at the pro level, you know, we have to remind people that the 757 is rich in its basketball tradition. We look at how well Virginia Union has played over the years. We look at Virginia Commonwealth. We look at now UVA, Norfolk State. All of these teams are showing well in the NCAAs and even being here in Norfolk and even in the state of Virginia. The state of Virginia now has kids going all over the country, girls and boys playing for national powerhouses, and it sort of makes me proud when I look back on myself, Paul Pressey, Gerald Henderson, was a kid, Clyde to Austin. You got Moses Malone. You got the young man out of Chesapeake that played up at UVA, and we probably got about 7 or 8 other kids that are part of national programs. And I think the big thing is when we look around at some of the private schools are playing well. We even look at places like Hargrove, Fork Union, which gives a kid another year of development. So Virginia is rich in the history of basketball at all levels across the country.
You know, it was a 40-year wait from when you retired at the end of the 81 campaign with the Bucks to getting that call to the Hall, a richly well-deserved one. And you said during your induction speech, Bob, to me, being a Hall of Famer is not about basketball. Elaborate, if you can, on what that meant.
You know, to be in a Hall of Fame, you know, a few guys have gotten in on basketball statistics, but most of the Hall of Famers are also good citizens and make contributions not only to the game of basketball, but to the culture, to the history of this country, to their communities. And during my wait, I've had an opportunity to, you know, do a lot of things, having AAU teams here in Norfolk, being a part of the women's young girls AAU system with the Norfolk Express, and just, you know, having done work in the housing developments in the city of Norfolk, going back to Richmond, and, you know, being involved in nonprofit programs there. So for me personally, the wait gave me an opportunity to put some work in some other areas of my life because, you know, a true Hall of Famer does not just use sports to make an impact, you know, on the society. And I'm just very proud that doing the wait, I had an opportunity to contribute not only to the black communities, but communities all across the country. And, people ask me about that weight. Some things, most things we're powerless over anyway. And so I just had a good time doing the weight. But even when I was in a crowd of proclaimed Hall of Famers, I never felt that I was not a Hall of Famer, because I know the body of work and the accomplishment that I made as far as basketball. And I just knew that one day, somebody will step forward on those committees and support Bob Dandridge full-heartedly, because that's what it takes. But I'm just proud to say that I am a Hall of Famer on the basketball court, and I am a Hall of Famer in my community.
His jersey number 10 is retired by the Milwaukee Bucks. His jersey number 12 retired by the Spartans of Norfolk State. Our guest here, Bob Dandridge, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer, with us here on the 757 at 6. A few more minutes with him here on ESPN Radio 94.1 as we reminisce and also discuss his inaugural MLK Bob Dandridge Holiday Basketball Challenge that took place yesterday. He, Claudel Clark, and the whole crew throwing it together did a splendid job over there at Eccles Hall. And Bob, here a couple more for you and let you run. We appreciate you coming on the program tonight. Going in the hall, was it everything you had envisioned and dreamed it was, that whole ceremony and just everything that took place that night?
It was more.
Okay.
I couldn't have imagined the significance of it and the fellowship that goes on between Hall of Famers. And it's still sinking in somewhat. And Bruce Smith was telling me that I needed to start acting like a Hall of Famer. So I got to go take some lessons from Bruce on how a Hall of Famer is supposed to act, because I'm still humbled by it. I'm excited about it. But you know what? I'm most appreciative and excited about fans and family members, BU Norfolk State or BU Mag-Al Walker High School. I'm grateful that, one, I lived long enough to walk on the stage to get the accolades, but I'm also happy for the people that have supported me over the years, especially for those that believe that I rightfully deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm a firm believer in that, things happen in God's time. All I have to do is wait for him to do his work. And, I stood by that. And like I said, I never in my wildest dreams imagine the feeling that I have, and just puts another stride in your step to be called the Hall of Famer. So this is something I could never have told you 4 years ago what it was like being a Hall of Famer, because I'm just beginning to feel it, and I'm quite sure I haven't gone through all the great feelings that go with being a Hall of Famer.
Sure, that's awesome. Well, I'll finish up with you here on this. Hey, how neat was it for you to see 50 years after you won your championship as a member of the Bucks, Milwaukee erases a 2-0 deficit last year in the NBA Finals to win the title behind Giannis Antetokounmpo, such a humble superstar?
Oh, such a great young man who's able to, put the team first, but yet he was able to take the team on his back. And, they took a lot of pressure off of that championship team back when I played. So now we can rest. And now the onus is now on the new team. Because, now after you win the first one, they expect you to win another one the following year. So, but I'm just glad for the organization, because the Bucks has always been a first-class organization, and the fans of the state of Wisconsin deserve championship after championship.
Well, and Bob, you know what that means? That means in 2028, Washington's going to get one to celebrate the 50-year anniversary of your Bullets team winning the title.
Yeah, well, we would like to hope so. I think some changes might have to be made.
You might be right.
For that to happen. But you know, the Wizards are going to keep trying to work hard at it, and I hope that can happen during Wes Unsell's tenure with the Wizards.
That would be great to see. Thank you so much for coming on the program with us tonight. Bob Dandridge here on the 757 at 6, sharing his reflection and perspective on all things hoops related. We really were glad to witness that first ever Bob Dandridge MLK Holiday Basketball Challenge yesterday. We wish you and yours all the best, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.
Thank you, and I wish you the best with your program.
Thank you, Bob. That is Bob Dandridge with us here at the Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer on ESPN Radio 94.1.